mind the wobbly dial indicator. The magnets are going short in that thing. Me and my dad tried to mess with it, but it just needs new magnets in it. So I ended up having to set the base on top of my axle and then just kind of holding it there. Getting about 12 thousandths of play there in the ring gear. And that's where we want to stay, because that's how this thing's been running. It's running fine. So that's what we want to do. In this episode, I'm putting a limited slip diff in it, and we're going to do a burnout in the garage. Yeah, we're doing it. So what you want to do is you want to check how much play there is, and that is the play between your pinion and your ring gear. That's how much play there is between the gears itself, where they mesh. Now, the only adjustment for that is shims on each side of the carrier. You'll have the bearings on. Before you put the caps on, you'll put the shims in. And I'm hoping we can just reuse the shims that are in there. But these bearings might be a different size than what's in there, or they might be slightly different. So we need to take this apart now that we know how much play we have. Get that carrier out, take the ring gear off, I'm gonna mount it on here, and I got Loctite for the bolts, and you just gotta make sure everything's clean before you put it together, because that ring gear, the bolt holes are sealed. So if you have grease or dirt or anything in those holes when you put the bolts in, that is gonna tighten up, because it's not gonna let the air out, because there'll be dirt and grease in there. You're going to tighten it up against the dirt and grease, and then you're going to have a loose bolt on the ring gear, and that's not what you want. So let's go ahead and rip this old limited slip carrier out, because we ain't never using that thing again. We're going to throw it down over the bank, and then get everything cleaned up and put back together, get the axles in, and do a smoky burnout here in the garage with the exhaust off. It's gonna sound good.
We gotta stay for people we don't know what lies. All of the clothes are designer, fast cars, and who knows who. Yeah, I know what they wanna say. They're gonna ask me if I'm gonna make it. I don't care if I'm gonna have to fake, as long as I can be real with you. Sip of that Cabernet, the way it stains your lips, I wanna taste it. Take my hand, I know we can make it out the back door. Yeah. And now you're leaning into me. You say you stay with me a while. If we leave right now, we can go till we're going and gone. So take me.
Alright, so we got this ring gear cleaned up. I still need to clean it a little bit more. You want to get the holes where the bolts go perfectly clean. I can still see a little bit of grease in them. The bolts as well. So I got to clean up the bolts. I'm going to take them to the parts washer, clean them up here. But before we do all that, I want to go ahead and press the bearings onto the new carrier. So the new carrier comes with brand new bearings. Here's the new carrier. You need to press them on. And then also those gears fit really tight. Now you can go around the inside of that and kind of skim it with some sandpaper or something like that. But we are going to just heat it up with MAP gas and then drop it on, and it should fall right on there. Here's our brand new bearings. Get something that will fit the inner race perfectly. Now that outer race will come right off. That just, you put them on right before you put them in. So yeah, let's figure this out. There was two really big shims in there, one on each side. I'm going to try to use those to get the lash right. But if not, then I have shims, so we're gonna figure that out. Also, a good time to note for you guys: the bolts and the ring gear are reverse thread. So yeah, at first I even looked it up, and I knew they were reverse thread. Totally forgot. Was trying to tighten them up. That's what I was doing. So yeah, make sure you have your gun set to lefty loosey when you're tightening and righty tighty when you're loosening. Well, it's hard to show you guys. I'm going to try to show you. I had like 12 thousandths starting out, and 12 thousandths. That's where we were at. So I say I got it good. I did have to change all the shims. The original shims are these big honking suckers here. And yeah, we had to change those. New shims are in, and lash is set. Now you could check your, make sure your gear's running right on there. But since I used the same exact gears that came out of it, I'm not worried about it. They should mesh the exact same way. So just gonna make sure that these clamp bolts are tight. There's a torque to them. It's tight with my gun. And yeah, there we go. Now you ought to be able to throw the cover on and put some fluid in it and do some burn skis. Yeah, exciting. If you'll excuse me, I'm gonna take a little break here because I need to tap out 2 holes that my brand new bolts broke off in with a 1/4 inch gun. So they're not very strong bolts, these new ones I got. And I was wondering, I was like, oh, they give you some extra ones here. I understand why. Might just put the cruddy bolts back in. Didn't have that problem with those. It sucks. Trying to make it look all nice and stuff. We're gonna have to tap these holes out. I'm gonna have to. I'll get back to you guys. This is frustrating. All right, so after many hours of drilling, tapping, we're on there with all the bolts. Nightmare. Anyways, what I need to add into this is friction modifier. Oh my god. Why did I put the cover on? It's one of them days. Like, you guys saw this one coming. Like, I didn't. I obviously. I put the cover on, didn't put the axles back in. Back off she comes. At least the RTV isn't completely dry yet. Okay. We're going to put the axles in. I don't know if I'm getting this burnout in tonight. It's a school night. Alright, so one of the most important parts of this whole fiasco that I totally forgot here is putting your C-clips in. First, this pin has to come out. And there's a little bolt right there. So we're going to take that out. And then we'll get into the C-clips. My other camera is dying, so I had to switch over. You need an 8. Needs to come out. This pin is what keeps your axles from coming in and letting the C-clips out. So take this out, then we should be able to drop this pin out. Okay, so now with that out, put your axles in. Do all this before you put the whole freaking thing back together. Be careful with your axle seals. Oh. A little bit harder to do in the limited slip. Not that one. Once you get it in place, push your axle back out, and it'll just seat back into place. Now we got to do the other side. Okay. All right. For the 100th time. Still have some sealant on there, but it's still soft. Now that headache's over. God. So I don't know how I'm supposed to get it in there, but I gotta put this friction modifier in here. Limited slip friction modifier. It just comes in this little bottle that has no nozzle. So I somehow have to get it in there. It does stink. Oh my god. Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible. Alrighty then. Excuse me while I clean up the mess around the truck right now, so I can get the back tires down on the ground so we can see how effective this is. This is a $200 limited slip diff, just so you know. Got it on eBay. $200. You don't need rockers and cab corners to do donuts or burnouts, right? Alright, that's what I thought. Okay, let's clean things up. Alright. My job here is done. Can't hardly breathe in here now. Oops. So that's going to be the end of this video. So if you like this video, smash that like button. Consider subscribing. Hit that dislike button if this is what your mom's bedroom looks like when she opens the door. Remember to like, share, and drop me a comment down below. I will see you in the next episode of
Unwrecked.
You kitties better be good while we're gone. You gonna be a good boy? I don't know. He's looking ornery. I gave him a hairball treat. You gonna be ornery? Oh, look at her. Are you happy, see, Daddy? You happy?
We're going to see some rock bands tonight. And my wife is being a trooper because this is not her style of music.
No, it's
You
not.
happy to see From Ashes to New?
I'll see.
In the Word Alive?
We will see.
Yeah. I'll update you guys on the next video on how that went.
Say bye-bye.